Good afternoon, everybody. DJ Styles, your Custom Corpses. Okay, I'm moving my chair over. All right. What I need to do now is not knock the camera over. All right, I'm a little sore tonight because I've been working all day. And all right, so this is what we're after right here. The styling, brushing out the hair to give it that look. And I brushed it over, pompadoured it a little bit here. This is the Night Creeper 78. And I have two masks here that have to be brushed out and then styled. Now this is somewhat styled, but doesn't have any product in it yet. I still have to do the gnarly, I have to do the things I need to do to make it look good. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna brush out the hair, and I gotta do the glue line. This is a Flashback that I haired today. This Flashback is awesome, man. It really turned out amazing. All right, so when you're brushing out the hair, you don't brush it from this point and just drag it, because you'll never get all the hair out. What you have to do is put your layers forward the way you put the hair, glued the hair down on the mask. So in other words, we're pulling the hair forward here, all right, each layer, and we're putting it down, and just keep working these layers that you put all this hair on. And you have to keep pulling it forward, because we got to get to the back of the mask. All right, that's the objective, is to get to the back of the mask. And you have to put these layers forward. And I'll show you why. Because you really need to get a lot of this hair off. You don't want a lot of hair on the mask. It's not a ton of hair. You don't want the kind of hair that's on here right now. All right, I need my little... Aha. This is what I need right here. Just to pull that line up. Now this is the one thing, the way I do my hair, I'm going to share with people now, is from about here on the mask on back is all short hair. It's not real long. From the very front of the head to about here is the long strands. So you'll see that this hair is a lot shorter. The other thing I started doing is started painting the head. See how it's darker brown? And the reason why is because it hides any kind of areas that might be a little less, not that much hair on it. All right, so we need to really... Once I get to this point, there's one more row. Now see, I can get away with brushing 2 rows. But what I want to do, I'm blocking your view. I know it sucks. Do it this way so you guys can see. You're really brushing it pretty hard. You want to brush it really hard. See all the hair that comes out of that? I use a pick to get the hair out. It just makes it so much easier. That's how you do the first layer. And so I barely see any hair coming out of that now. And what I'll do is I'll put my hand behind it. Pull a little more out of there, but not a lot. Same with this side. Pull more, as you can see. This just makes life a lot easier and faster. I got a trash can right to my right here that I can just... Now, what we're going to do is we're going to pull down the next row. This is how you do it properly. And pull down that next row. By having the head brown underneath like this, or black, whichever one you choose, you can't see any spots where it might be a little thin. It hides it nice. And believe me, you want the hair thinner. You don't want it real thick, because if it's real thick on the mask, what will happen is it's harder to style. Very hard to style. This is just a tutorial on how to brush the hair. Brush the hair out to get the majority of the hair so it doesn't fall out. You don't want people pulling on the mask and all of a sudden the hair's coming out. And yeah, that's a big no-no. You don't want the hair coming out on people, you know. So you really want to make sure that you get any hair that's not really glued down well off. Look at that. Now, I'm going to do another tutorial on how to hair the mask, because I've learned a couple new techniques that I think are working really good for me, and I'm excited for that. Yes. All right. So there's a glue. There's long hair that I put right here, right on top of the ear, and that's longer hair. And now, when I'm into that row, I'm bringing that in to the fold. I'm bringing that in. And the other thing is, my technique keeps you from using up too much hair too. You don't waste a lot of hair. See how much longer this is right here? Yeah, see, if you can see, let me show you how I glued this. You can see, like, this is the front hairline. This is the very front hairline. All right, and I have an extra hairline right in here to fill that gap. But this long piece, if you look up, it's glued right here. And when I glue it here and then back that way. And then when I brush it out, it gives me a really nice finished look. You'll see in a second here when let me see if I can do this without, I want it on camera so you can see what I'm doing. All right, so I'm pushing down on this. I don't want this getting brushed. I'm just working this area here. I'm brushing this out, but I need to put more pressure on this. I can't do it left-handed. So it's going to be off camera. But notice what I'm doing here. I'm pulling this section of hair through. And I need to really pull out that, look at all that extra hair that's coming out of that. I need to really pull hard on that. And I can't do it, I'm right-handed. So I need to do it from this side. The other thing is I need my hand up inside the mask to really get a hold of it. And then I'll show you the difference. Remember how thick that was? Look at all that hair I pulled out of that. There was a lot more than that because I've already cleaned the brush multiple times. But as you can see, look how that lays flat now on that head, really nice. Because there's not a lot of hair left on there. So, now we go to the next row. The reason why you don't want real long strands of hair on the back of the mask is because your hair will get too thick. It'll be so thick on your mask. I've haired so many of these now that I've really got this down. Okay. So I need to put my hand up inside that mask. Push on that. Push on the face of it. Really break that hair. We want it. And you can't see the scalp at all. As close as I am to this, you cannot see the scalp. Yet it's nice and thin. You'll be able to style this really nice. Now that's the front hairline. That's the very last one that I want to pull forward. Always work from the back to the front. Just remember that when you're doing this. That's exactly how you haired it, from the back to the front. It's the same way. You have to comb it out the same way. You want to do it in layers because you'll have way too much hair. If you try to brush all that hair, all laying back, you'll never get the hair out. It'll all stay in there clumped up. You'll never get the hair out. If you think about it, it makes total sense. You will be brushing for weeks trying to get that hair out of there. All right, so we're not. Next row. Now it starts getting longer. See the longer hair? This is the row that I started longer hair. This is the row that started the longer hair. Now the longer hair really comes out a lot. Look at all that hair. Woo! Gotta empty that thing already. The longer the hair, the more fibers that the that's another trick that I also did, is this first row of long hair is spread out really thin. In other words, the fibers are really spread out far apart, because what happens is if you make it too clumpy and too thick, this next row is a little thicker. All right. I always try to, my rows, you want to be able to see through it, each row of hair that you put on it. You want to see through it. I don't know if you guys ever took a Tots trick-or-treat mask, took the hairline off, and you notice the scalp looks black. Well, there's a reason for that. It's so you don't see the scalp if the hair's a little thin in any areas. Like right here, I can see a little scalp right here, but that next layer is going to cover that really nice. Ooh, a lot of static electricity in the air here. And I got hair all over me. But that's okay. I'll get it off. Okay. Next layer. So much easier that is to brush that out. And you get more hair off the mask by doing it this way. And you don't have the hair pompadoured up, sticking straight up in the air, like just real thick. And it really blends in nice. Man, look at all that hair. See all that hair, guys? See all that hair? You might say that's a lot of wasted hair. It is quite a bit of hair that comes out of the mask. But if you don't have enough hair on that mask, you're going to have a headache on your hands, because what will happen is not having enough hair on it, and all of a sudden you have to put hair on it after the hair's already on the mask. Oh man, I didn't want to think about it. A lot of hair came out of that one. That's because it was real thick there. I made sure that it was thicker there because of that area that looked a little bald. And I could see that that was going to be a little bit of a spot where you can see through it. Man, I got hair all over me. Yuck. Okay, so we're getting down to the final rows here on the top. Yep. And as you do it this way, it blends all the hair together really nice. Brings all the fibers together. Brings all the fibers together. I don't feel like I need another shower after this. I already had one. Actually, I had two today. Okay, so we're down to the last row. This is the hairline row. All right. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, that's thin down enough. Wait a minute. Did I do that other side? I want to make sure I get that other side real good. Got to make sure I get it real good, because I don't want to have to. Now, the reason why you do this way and you blend all that hair together real nicely like that, and the reason why I'm doing it this way, because you'd never be able to get these lines apart again. It would be a nightmare to try and separate these hairlines again, because you're okay. So here we go. The last hairline. pulling all this hair together now. It's all, they're intertangling with each other, all these fibers. Really blending the hair nicely. See, now there's not that much hair coming out of that anymore. That's as much as I'm going to get out of that. That's completely raked out nicely. There's no more hair coming out of there, which is good because now the hair's not going to be falling out on people when they're wearing the mask. Wait, just that section right there that I just pulled back on. Where do you see how much hair is on this brush? Look at that. And it's literally filled to the very top of my fibers. And I mean pushed in. So it's that thick with hair. And that's a lot. That's a lot of hair. Believe me, that's a lot of hair. It feels thick when I'm pulling it off forking it out of the. So that cleans it out really nice. Now we got this last strand here. That's it. Fill up again. Now, that's how you brush the hair. Now you can see, look how flat that is on that scalp. See how flat that is? It's really nice and flat. That's what you want. You don't want it thick to where it's piled up, or it's real thick. And it's like that all over the mask. If I push down on this, it's nice all the way down. A little thick on this side. Matter of fact, a little too thick. I might have to. There we go. Now see that? I pulled as hard as I could, and I got no hair out of that. All right. So I'm going to have to shear this a little bit. I have what they call thinning shears. I can thin that out with a little bit. Do the same thing on this side just to make sure. All right, so that's how you want it to be right there. Let me see, let me face it. Man, I got hair all over me. Eugh, what a mess. All right, so nice and flat. And then all you do to style it is you just pull it forward. That's it. You know, you just pull it forward and you swirl it around a little bit. That's it. That's all you do. All the fibers are really intertangled now. So I still have to do the hairline on here. I have to put another glue line in here. And that's going to be the next video. After I get this hair kind of where I want it. I have to make sure I style it the way I want it first. And then get it ready for the next, let's do the next video. All right. That's how you brush out a hair. That's how you brush the hair out. All right. And see you on the next video. It took 25 minutes to brush out the hair.